Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Masala Chai and Chess with Nisha. We all have idols in our lives, right? When I started playing chess back in 1988, I wanted to become like Bhagyashri Thipsay, a star player then. It has been 3 decades. Bhagyashri has now become a close friend, but I continue to admire the energy in her and I wonder whether I will have the same love for chess when I reach her current age. Bhagyashri's list of achievements is endless. She is 5 times Indian National Women Champion, the recipient of Arjuna Award. She has won the Asians once. She has represented India in the Olympiad 9 times. Today, on the occasion of Bhagyashri's birthday, I decided to show to you all 2 mind-blowing games by our great attacker. Let's wish Bhagyashri a very happy birthday, good health and happiness. The first game that I am going to show to you is from the Indian National Women Championship back in 1991. Bhagyashri won the nationals that year. So Bhagyashri is wide against Anupama Gokhale, another very strong female player then. It's interesting to note that both the players had contrasting styles. Bhagyashri is a very strong attacking player, whereas Anupama is a very good positional player. And very interesting is that when I was a kid, one year Bhagyashri would be my favorite and the next year it would be Anupama. So let's get started. E4, E5, knight f3, knight f6. We see the Petrov, knight e5, d6, knight c4, knight into e4, knight c3, knight f6, d4, d5, knight goes to e5, bishop e7, bishop d3, castles, castles, nbd7, queen f3 attacking the d5 pawn, c6 supporting it, knight into d7, bishop into d7. We see both sides are developing, h3 stopping maybe bishop g4, bishop e6. Now knight on c3 is doing nothing, so Bhagyashri played knight e2 shifting it, queen d7, knight g3, knight e8, bishop f4, knight d6, rook a e1, rook a e8, bishop e5. And in this position, black should have played either g6 or f6 and the position is equal. But here instead, Anupama played knight c4. Now this is my masala chai moment. I'll chillax, have my masala chai while you think through this pretty combination, and I will advise you really try to think and find the answer. It's a very pretty one. Hope you found the move. Bishop g7. This move and the follow-up is really pretty. King into g7, knight h5 check. And here black played king h8. Now I'll show you the variation. So instead of king h8, if black goes king g8 here, queen g3, bishop g4, rook into e7. Queen cannot take on e7 because of queen e7, queen g4 and mate next move on g7. So if rook into e7, knight f6 with a nice fork. So this was with king g8. What happens for king h6? Another nice move, knight f6 attacking the queen. Black must take, queen h5, king g7, queen into h7, mates. So knight h5, Anupama played king h8, another very nice move, knight f6. So white is vacating the h5 square for the queen, and the knight on f6 is blocking the f7 pawn. So knight f6, bishop f6, queen h5. The mate on h7 cannot be stopped, so Anupama resigned. Don't go away, there's another mind-blowing game waiting for you. The next game that I'm going to show is another masterpiece by Bhagyashri. White is Bhagyashri Thipsay, black is Lanchava Thea. The tournament was played in Groningen in the Netherlands in 1997. You know what? Don't look for these games in the database. You're not going to find them. But the combination played in this game was published in the most prestigious Chess Informator. But the full game is going to be published for the first time now. E4, D6, D4, G6, knight C3, bishop G7, F4, knight F6, knight F3. So we see the Austrian attack in the Perk defense. Castles, bishop D3, knight A6, castles, C5, D5, knight C7, queen E1, rook B8, A4 stopping B5, B6, queen H4, A6, black wants to play B5, F5, B5, A into B5, A into B5, knight G5. Now here, white is threatening to play F into G6, followed by rook into F6, and then queen into H7. This is very dangerous. So black played G into F5. Rook F3, the rook left. C4. Now this is my masala chai moment. You need to really give a long thought here, as the combination is really mind-blowing. Well done if you found the move. Knight H7. A brilliant move. Black played C into D3. Now the first question is, why did black not play knight into H7? Because of rook H3, knight F6, bishop H6, and white is clearly winning. So black thought, okay, let me take the bishop, C into D3. Knight F6, E into F6. Now instead, if black plays bishop F6 here, rook G3, bishop G7, and here another brilliant idea, rook into G7, king into G7, bishop H6, and white is mating black soon. So E into F6, rook G3, and here if black plays knight E8, rook H3, and white mates with queen H7. Also, I need to explain what is the idea of white if black does nothing. So let's try to understand with the help of, say, a move B4. Bishop H6, knight E8, and white takes rook into G7, knight into G7, queen G3, and there is an unavoidable mate on G7. So here black played F4, bishop into F4, and F5 was a game continuation, but before that let's see a variation with knight E8. So let's see what happens if black plays this. There's a nice combination now. Bishop H6. So white wants to take on g7 next. So queen b6, king f1, queen d4, bishop into g7, knight into g7, queen h6 threatening a mate, f5, e5, queen into e5, and now we see why king f1 was played, rook e1. The king is required to support the e1 rook. Queen d4, rook h3 with the mate on h7 or h8. So f6, rook e7, and white is winning. So let's come back to the game continuation. After bishop f4, black played f5. Now this is another masala chai moment for me. I can finish off my cup while you find the final combination. Well done if you found rook into g7, king into g7, queen h6, king g8, and here comes another nice move. Rook f1, preparing the rook lift, f6, queen g6 check, king h8, rook f3, white is threatening a mate on h3. So black plays f into e4, and here Bhagyashri finished off with a very nice move, queen h5, black resigned because after king g7, rook g3, bishop g4, rook g4, it's a mate. I hope you all liked the brilliant attacking games of Bhagyashri Thipsay. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I do not know a lot of technical stuff. I'm just trying to spread my love for chess by showing to you all some brilliant attacking games which you may not have seen earlier. So friends, with your thumbs up to this video, help spread the brilliant games, and you know what, these thumbs up and subscriptions by all of you motivate me immensely, and they tell me that I'm in the right track. So before you go, don't forget a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it so earlier, and last but not the least, don't forget to wish Bhagyashri on her birthday.